Welcome back to the Filthy Black Table. You know, we live in an era where retro games are really, heavily marketed as nostalgia bait nowadays. It seems like you can't walk into any department store without having a little section or going on Amazon or whatever it is. If you like video games, some company is trying to sell you something that plays retro video games. They're everywhere now. And it's gotten a little out of hand at times, but being somebody that grew up in a time period where games were seen as weird, it was a weirdo thing to do. Now that it's widely accepted, everyone plays games of some sort. Yeah, it's pretty damn cool. So these little retro handhelds pop up from time to time, and I've talked about the Evercade before. If you want to watch my videos on that series of products, I had a whole thing last year where I kind of fell out with the Evercade. And I'm starting to play a little more Evercade, but I still have reservations about that company. Before, a lot of those little gimmicky products were taken up by things like this by AtGames. This is an AtGames Atari 2600 handheld that I've had for the longest time, and I think barely functions anymore. It's coming on. Really bad screen, really small. It does have a lot of Atari games on it, but you know, one of the coolest features of this thing was that I could put a micro SD card in and load up my own games. So, you know, if I wanted to put in a micro SD card and I wanted to play fucking Burger Time, I could do that. Just on the really poor quality device. But I could do that, you know? I don't know. This is kind of gimmicky. It didn't really seem like a lot of companies really put a lot of passion or quality into these products. They were sort of seen as just something to sell your grandma, or just something to sell to somebody at the store, or to get a quick buck, or to get, you know, you were nostalgic for playing Centipede or whatever, you know? Until recently. Recently, companies, Atari themselves and other companies, have been putting out more quality products. And one of those companies I hadn't checked out until now is My Arcade. My Arcade has put out plug-and-plays for the television consoles and a lot of different handhelds. And none of their handhelds really interested me until now. This is the Atari Gamestation Go. A brand new handheld, has 200 and plus games on it, along with the capabilities to expand your library. I got this the other day, and yeah, I'm gonna show you what I think of it. It's upside down. I'm gonna show you what I think of it. You can connect it to a TV. It does have a kickstand. You can play. They're gonna release controllers for this thing eventually, where you can play it as like a console almost. I think this thing flips up too. Has a huge list of Atari games and other little neat features. So yeah, I'm not gonna open this box. In this box did come an HDMI cord, a power brick, and a power cable. I have already opened this and have the product out, so everything else is in here. I'm not doing an unboxing. You've seen people open boxes. There's tons of those on the internet today. So yeah, this is it. This huge slab is the Atari Gamestation Go. My thumb automatically rests up here, but this actually is not an analog stick. So what's unique about the Gamestation Go is its control layout. On this side, you have a spinner to play spinner games. You have a D-pad, of course, and you have a trackball. And then over here, you have your regular triangular button layout, along with a number pad. Up top, you have shoulder buttons. You have power, home, a micro SD card slot for expanding your library, charging port, HDMI out, headphone jack, volume control. And then in the back, you have two slots for controllers for when those come out, and a kickstand so you can stand it up. Yeah, it feels nice. It feels nice, it's big, and we're just gonna jump in so I can show you what this even is. This is a really cool product. I love the way this thing looks. I love the way it glows. You know, if there's anybody that needs more Atari crap it's obviously me. I don't have enough of this stuff, right? So I have been playing this for the last couple days. My Arcade. The only thing that bugs me is I never liked the My Arcade logo just kind of hanging out, but it's all right. So the screen will adjust. We do have games built into this thing, so we have Atari games. We have Balls of Steel pinball tables. I believe there's 7 pinball tables. A couple Pac-Man games, some Jalico games, some Pico Interactive games, and some Atari Recharged games. So we can kind of go through. We'll start with just the Atari games. We have 2,600 games, quite the number of 2,600 games. It's the stuff you normally see with some like M Network and other little oddities thrown in, but it's the stuff you expect. It's the games Atari sells all the time. So, you know, on that front, it's not that amazing to have these games somewhere else. I mean, literally, this thing has all those games, but it's just the quality of the presentation and the device that are nice. And then you have a few 5,200 games, a few 7,800 games, and then a bunch of arcade games. And there's a really good number of arcade games. So I am going to show off some of the controls here. So let's go to Crystal Castles. And one thing I really like is that whenever you're using whatever, it shows you which buttons are active. So if I click Crystal Castles, the trackball lights up, the D-pad lights up, and the A button lights up, because that's all I'm going to be able to use. See, the shoulder buttons aren't lighting up, nothing else is lighting up. Pretty neat feature. And let's see, credit. Is it credit? Start. There we go. And I'm going to use the trackball here. And yeah, I mean, I'm playing it through a viewfinder, so please, the poor performance is me. But it feels so fucking good to play on this little trackball. And it makes a much more authentic, here, I'll hold it back, a much more authentic experience when it comes to these classic Atari games. So, this one works really well. The trackball, I've been having a really fun time playing trackball games on this guy. And yeah, I mean, that works really well. So, we'll, there's a home button, but I'm just gonna hit settings and quit. Yeah, quit. Okay. And then let's show off the spinner. So let's find Tempest. So now everything's usable on Tempest, but the spinner reflects the arcade game more. And again, playing through a viewfinder, so please bear with me here. But yeah, I mean, it feels so good playing Tempest on this thing. Whoops. Like, yeah, it's my preferred way to play a game of Tempest like this, other than my arcade cabinet that I have. Like, it feels really nice. It's not too cumbersome to hold it this way. Like, I just hold it like this to play. Like, it's pretty nice. So let's get the home button. Okay, so other than Atari games, which you would expect from a product like this, we do have Balls of Steel pinball. Pinball on steroids! So you have a good number of tables. A couple of them are Atari themed tables. I think Centipede and Missile Command. So I haven't played all these tables yet. I was really enjoying the Missile Command table, so we'll load that one up. And yeah, it's a nice like set of pinball simulations. I hope these devices, this device has a option for firmware updates. I hope they do add some more pinball tables to this eventually. But yeah, I mean, shit. Again, playing through a viewfinder here. Yeah, it's pretty fun. You can adjust the scrolling, you can adjust, you can adjust a lot of the stuff within the settings here to have the more optimal experience. I'm not going to be able to play for shit playing this way. I think my viewfinder has, like, lag behind, so we'll see how this goes. But, yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's a fun way to play some pinball. So you get 7 tables with that. And people may be thinking, like, why would you buy, like, this thing is like $179. Like, why would you buy this over a Steam Deck or a Switch 2 or something? Well, I wouldn't buy it over those items, but with its capabilities and the fact that it's a quarter of the price of those items, this is a good choice for if you just want something to play some retro games on, or if you want just like an easy pick up and play handheld. Pac-Man, we just have the original Pac-Man and 2600 Pac-Man, awful Pac-Man, and then we have a sped up version of the original Pac-Man for some reason. This is the only area that I have a complaint about. I wish they threw in a couple more games, like a Pac-Mania or Super Pac-Man or something. Like, I wish they gave us a little more Pac-Man to play. But I have been playing quite a bit of classic Pac-Man on this guy. And from what I understand, when this thing first launched, this version wasn't great, but the firmware update, I believe, fixed it, and I haven't had any issues playing this version of Pac-Man. And, I mean, yeah, the controls are nice and responsive. It's Pac-Man. It's great. Great arcade Pac-Man. It's just weird that this is like the only arcade Namco game that they decided to include. Atari and Namco are like doing a big collab thing right now. So, weird that this is the only thing included on here. I suspect if they do other models of this, they'll swap this out or put more on it. Jalico and Pico, these are kind of like the throwaways. There's still some good stuff in here, but these are obviously games that like they just had licenses for. Hey, look, Fortified Zone, Brian. You sent me that. I played that game. Games that they had the licenses for to like put on a device like this, but it does show its capabilities of playing 8-bit, 16-bit, you know, in our arcade games. There's a lot of Jellico arcade games on here. I was playing Side Battler. That's a good game. So yeah, the Jellico and Pico are just kind of like a nice inclusion of some games you probably haven't played before. I mean, and these are good, fun, good games. Like, I mean, look, it's like a Nightshade. I like Nightshade. You know, there's the Humans. I like that game. And the last thing here is probably one of the cooler aspects is that the Atari Recharged games got included, and they didn't include all of them. I wish they did, but they included 5 of them. So you have Asteroids Recharged, Berserk Recharged, Breakout Recharged, Centipede, and Missile Command. And yes, I own these on VCS and other ways, but I think it's nice here because playing something like Breakout Recharged with the spinner, or Centipede and Missile Command Recharge with a trackball is really special. And these versions of the Recharge games feel like they're tailor-made for this device, which is incredibly nice. And yeah, I mean, altogether, that's already like a $50 value with those 5 games. Let's see. So yeah, playing with the trackball, it's very sensitive, but it does work really well. And I don't know if I could play Missile Command Recharged any other way now, to be honest. Like, it feels so fucking good this way. Oh, nice. This is such an easy game to get sucked into. So yeah, there's a lot to play already built into this thing. There's a lot on offer here, and it's more than just your little selection of 2600 games. There's quite a bit to do. But on top of that, and something I haven't done yet, but I do plan to do, is that you can load up a micro SD card into this guy and put your own ROMs on it. And from what I understand, everything works up until about PS1 to Dreamcast. Everything works pretty well, or works decently well. I think when you start getting into the 3D consoles is where you start having some trouble. But for playing retro games, like, yeah, I'm going to be loading this thing up with NES games, Super Nintendo games, Sega Genesis games. Like, you have the shoulder buttons up here, so a lot of those consoles will just work super well. You know, Neo Geo Pocket games, fucking whatever else I want to play. Atari Lynx games, you know? I'm going to load this thing up with some ROMs so that, and like, the emulators are already baked into this thing, so again, I haven't done it yet, but from what I know, it's pretty easy to get that up and running. So if you're just looking for like a pretty good retro like emulation handheld, this could be a good option for you, and it also comes with a lot of unique stuff and controls. Like if you're playing games from MAME and you want the trackball or the spinner controls, guess what? You have that. So yeah, the MyArcade Gamestation Go, the Atari Gamestation Go, it does hook up their HDMI. I haven't done that. They are going to sell controllers. I might do that more when there are controllers available, but I've just been enjoying this thing as the handheld product it is. And as a retro gaming handheld, I have been thoroughly impressed by the quality of this thing. This thing is really cool, really fun. I'm sure the price tag is $179. That might be a little too high for some people, but if you're like a retro enthusiast, I think you would definitely get a kick out of the Atari Gamestation Go. Spend your money on dumb Atari shit. That's what I always do. That's what I do every fucking day of my life.